April 15. The calendar turns a heavy page, and the soil is made of memory. They call it an anniversary, I call it a deepening. 1,000 days of a house divided against its own heart. Ximam, the frequency. The world looks at the map like it's a drawing they can just erase. But I already knew. Listen. April 15, the date is a cycle of the broken light. 4 years of the general sharpening the knife of the fight. Khartoum isn't the city no more, it's a theater of the ash, while the RSF and the army make the national future crash. 10 million heartbeats scattered like seeds in the wind, while the world stays quiet on the crimes that were pinned. Mass graves in Darfur, the hunger is a surgical tool used to keep the many under the weight of the few who rule. The headlines are empty, the cameras are focused elsewhere, while our whole sovereignty vanishes in the dry desert air. It isn't a border dispute, it's a surgical extraction of the breath. A 4th year starting in the valley of the death. Humiliated in the light, broken in the shade. The price of a sovereignty that's being betrayed. It's the recurring heist of the South, the extraction of the soul, sacrificing the people just to keep the region no control. They trade the African breath for the leverage and the greed, ignoring the harvest while they poison the original seed. Yeah, the silence is a design. I've been tracing the lineage of the disregard, the cold design. How the empires always find a way to break the African spine. They want the gummy Arabic, they want the ports on the Red Sea side, but they treat the Sudanese like a secondary slide. It's the same dog rhythm since the conference in the hall, deciding who gets to rise and who was destined to fall. They talk about stability, but they only mean the trade, keeping the gold moving while the survival is delayed. Sudan is a mirror of the heist that never did end, a structural sacrifice that the capitals continue to send. You can't have a nation if the Marrow was stolen for the throne, or build a future on the volume of the abandoned and alone. I watch my daughter breathe in the Chicago night. 12 years old, safe from the shadow and the blight. I watch her breathe, then I think of the breath of a child in old-fashioned negotiating with death. The world I build on my desk, it follows the rules of the fear, but out there the pieces are crushed just to see if they'll sit. Sovereignty isn't a gift you can take or you can grant. It's the root in the soil, it's the life in the plant. The world doesn't lack the food, it lacks the will. The soil remembers the blood before it remembers the bill. So the generals keep the pace, the attrition is the goal, feeding the hunger to maintain the total control. External hands moving the pieces from a distance so far, trading the Sudanese hard for a seat at the bar. You can't bury your people and expect the ground to stay. The frequency is rising from the camps today. Sovereignty is a fact, not a permit you grant with a pen. But they treat the African life like a wear in the wind. It doesn't matter to the bottom line of the year. I'm naming the pattern, I'm decoding the fear. The Nile is a witness to the heist. The fire is 4 years old, the silence is old, the river is a legend, the South is the price. I already knew. Ximam.